but it was also the grunge kids who love rock and roll. And they wanted to rebel and they loved this African American energized culture and clothing that we were putting out. So, it's really about having a following and a genuine voice. So you'll look at something like an Instagram and you'll see a girl on there who has 1 million followers, but she only has 2,000 followers on Twitter. Well, because she's not, the communication is not necessarily there. The people that are looking at her on Instagram most likely are perverts, right? So, but it's just creating the following. So your following, no matter what you do, has to be organic, no matter what brand, product, or thing you have.
Giving you sometimes very crazy things that you are constantly being pitched. But what trends are you excited about personally as an investor as you're seeking out deals? And can you share with us any areas of opportunities that new investors, the new entrepreneurs or people who are thinking of ideas on what kind of a business to start, where they should start thinking, which industries, they should start thinking?
I don't think there is any specific industry they should concentrate on. I mean, they should just make sure that it has exactly what everybody else up here has been talking about, some form of a tech aspect to it. Bridget was right. It's no better time to start businesses, and you may say it's out there, but it's always been out there. I always say that you're never going to create nothing new in the world again. It's just going to be another form of delivery. You're going to find a new audience. I didn't put 3 sleeves on a shirt. It was still a shirt, and I found following. Where I'm finding that I like to invest in more these days are, number one, food, consumables, and perishables. I like that because initially on Shark Tank, I wouldn't invest in those because I had worked in the food industry for many years. I was working at Church's Fried Chicken, I was at Red Lobster, I was at all these places, and I would see the food go bad, or I would wonder how do people get it from production line onto the plate right away, and I would think that there were so many other areas to lose at, and of course we know that restaurants are one of the top businesses that have a high ratio of failing. But on Shark Tank, I invested in something called Al Bubba Baker's boneless ribs, and also a 3 Jerks Jerk company, it was beef jerky, and those are my best performing products. The reality hit me that when I sold somebody a shirt, they can wear it forever. When they buy ribs, they're gone, right? And they gotta buy it again. So that's one place that I like. But going back to my fashion background, I love investing in fashion tech that has something to do with health, sports, and technology. If you really look at it, companies like Lululemon destroyed the denim market. They just destroyed the entire market. We had jeans being sold at $250, $300 from Joe's Jeans to Hudson and things of that nature. And Lululemon came around and it made it cool for a female to wear tights during the day and then maybe wear a denim or maybe wear a skirt at night, right? And the people that wore denim, the older the denim got, the cooler it was, right? When you look at sports and the things that you sweat in and you use a lot, you have to buy more, right? And then I'm looking at how Kevin Plank from Under Armour is using this and putting technology into the clothing where you can tell your heart rate, or you can tell if you have too much sodium in your system and things like that. So those are the areas that are good to me, and it's because I relate to it more. I've never really been good in real estate and other markets. I'm good at, I know what I know and I know what I don't know. But I believe that everybody should be able to put themselves as a personal brand no matter what, because if you don't know what you stand for, then when you walk in the door, you leave it up to us to interpret. So I always say that you have to be able to put yourself in 2 to 5 words, right? Whether it's, Mike, just do it, enforce bias, right? And a lot of people have to be honest with themselves on who they are and what's the purpose of what they want to accomplish. If it's for vanity reasons, then that's fine. And everybody believes that their brand needs to be this glossy thing that everybody's going to accept. Old Dirty Bastard knew he was an old dirty bastard. He sold that straight through, right? So I think that no matter what it is, we always invest in people. Period. Bottom line. Every single person up here that has seen and witnessed or trained somebody to pitch, at the end of the day, was their energy infectious? Do they fail more times than they've succeeded, and they're never going to stop? Are they going to be great partners, whether in this company that I'm going to invest in or the next company we're going to do together? You know, even when you're going for a job as an entrepreneur, as Rodney was saying, you know, after you walk past the door, it has nothing to do with the resume. It's, can I stand talking to you for the next 8 hours a day, every day for the next 5 years? Can I just deal with you, right? So I believe that people definitely have to understand who they are as a brand before anything else, and then hopefully they can plug it in. But FUBU always was something that I believed in, and it came from the core of myself and my other 3 partners. And to sum it up, they have to know who they are no matter what. And you know what, I'm not just saying that just to be polite, because think about it, it's so hard to come up on this stage and talk about what you're doing and face criticism, maybe, you know, it's nerve-wracking and things of that nature. But think about what T was doing. He's bringing an event here where somebody's going to win $10,000. Now, somebody may think that's a little money, somebody may think that's a lot, but the $10,000 you're going to win is going to go towards that crucial part of seed funding, and you don't have to give up any of your company. And many of the companies that are up here are going to pitch, of course, majority of them are not going to win. But what are they going to walk away with? Well, they're going to see how their information engaged against other people. They're going to see how many people related to their information. I mean, there's an old story that 2 men were in a competition chopping down trees, all right? And one kept chopping just furiously, banging away at the log. Another guy kept chopping, and he sat down for a little while. Then he got back up. Sat down for a little while, then got back up. But the guy who kept sitting down, he won the log. The tree fell. The reporter would later ask him, how did you win? I mean, you were sitting down every once in a while. He said, no, but every time I was sitting down, I was sharpening my axe. The reality is, pitch competitions like this are good for everybody. You learn what's out there, you learn what's not. Robert Hershey always says, idea with no action is just a dream. And it's these small, affordable steps that people take that are the things that empower them. That's the only thing that all entrepreneurs have in common. They take affordable steps. They go out there and they act, they learn, and then they repeat. You heard Bridget up there, she said Google's failed a bunch of times. Google, think about that. Google has failed a bunch of times. I have failed many, many times, especially after going on to Shark Tank. And that's the theory of the power of broke. The reason I wrote The Power of Broke was for one reason and one reason only. Too many people have grown up with this theory, you need money to make money. Other people's money. And that's a bunch of crap. And I started to see 2 types of people on Shark Tank. I saw the people on Shark Tank who walked up to us and said, you know what, I need X amount of dollars from a shark and whatever the case is, and they think we're going to do the job for them. Well, if I knew every single thing in the world about every single thing, then FUBU would be called Nike. It wouldn't be called FUBU. I'm still learning myself. But then I see the other entrepreneurs that go up there and they say, I look at a shark not as a crutch, but I look at them as an asset. I call on them every once in a while, and I need them more for mentorship. And I'm going to still take affordable steps. I'm not going to burn all the money too soon. If you really think that you need money to make money, then why does we shared up there over 65% of the people in the league after they get out of league, they're bankrupt in 3 years. Or lotto winners, it's the same number, over 65% after they win the lotto are bankrupt 3 years after their final payment. You don't need money to make money. You really don't. Because if that's the case, look at me. African American, any of these people, any of these issues somebody would have said, or topics somebody would have said was a hindrance to me. I'm short, I'm African American, I'm dyslexic, I got left back in school, a single mother, couldn't rap, sing, dance, throw a basketball, shoot a basketball. I can't even say the right thing, right? I got left back, I didn't know anybody, I didn't have any famous people to call on. I could have, I don't have a famous last name either. I could have called on Elton John and told him I was his son, but he probably wouldn't have believed me. Didn't have any money. But where am I today? I'm here with you. And if you look at over 60% of the Forbes or Times top wealthiest people in the world, over 60% of them were self-made men and women. That means they were all broke. Generational wealth is proven that it only passes down only in one generation, then it dissipates. So that means you can actually do it. And I'm not here to give you the you can win Willie speech, right? But what I tried to do with the book, and this is not to promote the book, this is to promote a mentality, because if you don't want to buy the book, there's no problem. I do free Facebook chats all the time, and the information is out there. It's really the heroes like Rodney that are educating people every single day and who are teaching them how to pitch, teaching them how to have access to capital. And these things you can do every single day. And on Shark Tank, you think that the kids that you watch, the people that watch the show, and the people that watch the people that pitch, you think they are the ones that learn the most? I'll tell you who learns the most. I am. That's why I do Shark Tank. Because if I didn't do Shark Tank, I would still be doing business like the rest of my colleagues. Let's make a shirt. Let's hopefully a department store will sell it. When the department store sells it, who bought it? Did the mom buy it for herself? Did she buy it for her son? Did the husband buy it for himself? Who bought it? Can't even find him anymore. I did Shark Tank to learn on how other people are doing business, how the millennials are doing business. It was a year ago when I was in a hotel and I came downstairs to the lobby of the hotel and the kid walks up to me and says, "You're Mr. John." I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "I need you to help me." I said, "Help you what?" "I want you to help me become a rap star." I said, "I make t-shirts for a living. I can't help you do that." We go outside to pull up our cars and the valet brings around our cars. His car comes around, it's more expensive than mine. I say to him, "It doesn't look like you're doing how bad as a rap star." He says, "No, I paint. I have 100,000 people that follow me on Instagram, and every single Monday, I time-lapse me painting a white shirt. And then I tell everybody that they can get this shirt for the next 24 hours and 24 hours only. It's going to be $50. Whether you buy one or you buy 50. Totally up to you, but you'll never see it again. Everybody that likes the shirt prepays for the shirt. And on Tuesday, I take their money over to the screen printer, and I copy the amount of screens that they've ordered, and I spend Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I mail them all out. And I do it all over again every single Monday." I said, "How much you doing business this year?" $1.2 million. That's where we're going today. Bridget shared it with you. You can touch the entire world with your fingertips. What is he doing? He's converting half of 1% of his people every single week. It's nothing new in business. It's what Ed McMahon was doing all the time with Publishers Clearinghouse and/or Columbia Records. It's just a new form of business. I told you, you're not going to create anything new in this world again. It's going to be a new form of delivery. But think about also the business that he's doing. When I sold to Macy's, I made a shirt at 10. I sold it to them at 20. They sold it at 40. If they didn't sell it in 10 weeks, they started to return it, and I had to take all the goods back. I don't know who bought it. But you know what this kid is doing? He's doing like MailChimp and or CRM where he's talking to his customers every single week. He's making the shirt at 10, he's selling it at 40, right? He knows who his customer is, who bought it. He's selling them again and again and again. He's finding out why they didn't buy something, why they will buy something. And he's doing it all from his cell phone. That's where business is going now. Everybody out there wants to find this magic bullet that's going to solve their problem. It's not, it's OPM. But OPM is not other people's money. OPM is other people's manufacturing, other people's mind power, other people's mentoring, other people's marketing. And you can always make money off of other people's mistakes. You don't need anything else more than what you have. But first of all, you have to take inventory of yourself. Your assets are what feeds you, your liabilities are what eats you. I think you had a really great question. What if I woke up tomorrow and I only had $500? Well, thank God I told all my employees they're fired, first of all. But I would sit there and I'd write a list. What do I hate doing in life? What do I love doing in life? Then I would surround myself with like-minded people. A couple of local mentors, a couple of people that are going to help me be soldiers and go out there and promote this concept. And then I was going to go and find my audience. I was going to fail with small, affordable steps. You don't take in any funding right away. I think that, as he said about the SBA loan, I said it was very important how he says that many people fail because of lack of funds, but he said something very important. The SBA also tells you when you shouldn't take in funding, because the real reason that people fail is overfunding. That's why small businesses fail. Overfunding because they don't practice what Bridget says, fail fast. You know what they do? They take out $50,000 worth of credit on their credit cards, and they have a cupcake factory, a cupcake that they really like to sell because their mother or grandmother had this great cupcake recipe. They've never sold one cupcake in their life, but they take out a $50,000 loan on their credit cards or their 401. Then they go and open a store, and everybody has cute little cupcake hats in the store. cupcake register, a cupcake couch. They haven't sold one cupcake yet, though, because Nana had the greatest cupcakes. Then they start making the cupcakes. They find out only a week later that a kid in the school next door has a peanut allergy that they have to close down a half a city block because of these cupcakes. They also find out the software they bought, they never really operated this type of software, and the kid operating the counter, every time they sell one cupcake, they put another cupcake in their pocket. And then they find out there's a little old lady that lives down the block that sells cupcakes out of a church for the last 20 years like crack. Now all of a sudden they have a $50,000 or $100,000 loan, they have to close the business down, their credit is ruined for 7 years, nobody's talking to them, and this kid has an outbreak of peanut allergies next to him. Instead of just selling 1 or 2 or 5 or 10. You see, if you have crap, buying $100,000 worth of crap is still going to be $100,000 worth of crap. You go out and you get a kiosk and you stand out there yourself and only rent it for 2 weeks, or you stand like myself in front of the Apollo Theater, freezing at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday night, shivering, trying to sell hats. And you know the best thing about when you're out there yourself trying to sell things? Especially like in Atlanta and in New York, people will tell you what they think about your product and your mother right there. Right? But that's the reality. Listen, you have a shirt, let's use a shirt for example, you have a couple of shirts, don't give it to a bunch of family members to go out. You gave it to them. If it's crap, grandma's always going to come back and tell you, oh, you should see how people at the job love my shirt. Try to sell it to somebody. Proof of concept is selling. Selling doesn't have to necessarily be a hard transaction of capital. It can be that video that you put up on your idea or your concept. We see videos with 1 million people liking just a baby laughing. It's proof of concept. Right? So that's really the power of broke mentality, is every single thing these individuals set up here. The most important things for the power of broke mentality of this. Number one, do your homework on whatever you want to do and find a new way to bring it to market. Because there's 99% of the people out there have failed at it and you can learn from them. Number two, find a mentor. I already told you about the reasons why companies fail, overfunding, but the reasons why they succeed have been overwhelmingly a mentor. Because a mentor is going to do a couple of things. They're going to do 3 things. And it has to be a mentor who doesn't have to have any interest in your business. Number one, they're going to tell you not to scale too quickly. Stay on one thing. Trust me, as soon as I started making hats, I wanted to make jeans, t-shirts, everything, but I stayed with hats for a long period of time. They're also going to tell you not to take in funding too early. Right now, if you offer me 50% of your company for $50,000, I'll give you the $50,000. What if you get into $1 million in sales and you need to raise another $250,000? I'm not giving up my 50%. So what are you going to do then? You're going to give up another 15, 20, 30% of your company. And then you're going to be exhausted because you went back to working for somebody, all the investors. Right? Those are the 2 things they're going to tell you. And number 3, and I think it could be the most important, they're going to give you advice on how to surround yourself with more strategic partners. Those are the real reasons, and the reasons why people succeed. They take affordable steps. They surround themselves with like-minded people. They have mentors. So in the book, what I wrote in the book is, I didn't just write about myself. I wrote about 15 other wildly successful CEOs like Kevin Plank, the CEO of Under Armour, doing about $5 billion a year right now in business. And he's taking on Nike and Adidas. People said that could never be done before. Well, he concentrated on one shirt, that wicker-free shirt. He concentrated on that, and he did that for 10 years before you probably ever heard of him. But when he started his company, he didn't have enough money to pay a toll when he went across the bridge, so they had to give him a ticket. But he activated the power of broke. Or maybe Mark Burnett, the guy who produces my TV show, The Voice Contender Apprentice, smarter than a 5th grader, 6th grader, 7th grader, right? He was a special forces guy in the British Army. He came over here, he couldn't find a job. You know what he started doing? He was a nanny. Think about that. Some murdering special forces guy is a nanny, Mr. Mom. They all activated the power of broke. And that's what I wrote the book on. But more importantly, keep coming out to events like this. Keep supporting other entrepreneurs, because you're going to keep learning. I am still learning. That's the one thing about business. You have to always keep learning about the change and the new ways to do business. I didn't realize, like Rodney said, that two-thirds of the millennials right here will be in a position that doesn't even exist as of right now. Now I'm going to go home and do my homework about that. That's the important thing, because there's 2 types of millennials, there's 2 types of thinkers. The same way I told you there's 2 types of individuals in Shark Tank. There's the ones that have these absurd valuations. They feel entitled. They think that the click of a button, they're non-social. But then there's the other millennials that can overthrow a government with Twitter, right? Cares about this planet that we ruin. And they care more about experience and social causes than anything else. And they know how to converse and or make wealth at the palm of their hands with the smartphone. And there's two types of people. Which one are you going to be? So that's about the power of growth. Thank everybody for being here. Thank you for investing in yourself. It's more important than anything else.